Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be a video all about Sansa Stark and Littlefinger in Season 7. He is her final boss, so we gotta talk about why she needs to take revenge on him. There's going to be a whole lot more Game of Thrones stuff happening in the next couple months as they wind down filming, so be sure to subscribe to make sure you get all the Game of Thrones stuff. There's a new round of the giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. I'm giving away copies of the enhanced editions of the book, so I'll explain at the end of the video, but be sure to click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss anything. So, Catelyn Stark has this very important quote when she's speaking to Robb Stark during the War of the Five Kings.
We'll lose the war and die the way Father died. Or worse.
Show them how it feels to lose what they love.
She's talking about the Lannisters in that context, but then later, Littlefinger, as he's talking to Sansa, trying to talk her into marrying Ramsay, doesn't really give her much of an option, talks about taking revenge for her family.
You've been running all your life. Terrible things happen to your family and you weep. You sit alone in a darkened room mourning their fates. You've been a bystander to tragedy from the day they executed your father. Stop being a bystander, do you hear me? Stop running. There's no justice in the world. Not unless we make it. You loved your family. Avenge them.
The real irony here is that everything that Littlefinger has done, instigating all the major conflicts in Westeros, has led to the deaths of her family directly. So he is the person she needs to take revenge against. Let's take a trip through Littlefinger memory lane, going back to before the show started. So you know about how he was fostered with the Tullys, with Catelyn and Lysa. Lysa was obsessed with him, he was obsessed with Catelyn, but she was betrothed to Brandon Stark. When it was determined when Catelyn would eventually marry Brandon in the future, Littlefinger outright challenged him for her hand, lost hardcore, landed on his ass. Looking at him today, he probably wouldn't last in a fight against Podrick, so they gave him a day to recover. He was only about 15 years old at the time, and then sent him away without getting to say goodbye to Catelyn, so he's still obsessed with her. Knew he wasn't going to be able to get her because he was so lowborn, so hatched his long-term con to make it to the Small Council and orchestrate events in the kingdom to bring about his rise to the Iron Throne with Catelyn at his side. He told that story to Sansa at the end of Season 6. I have a dream in my head, me on the Iron Throne with you beside me. That was Catelyn in that dream until recently, but going back in time, when he was recovering from his wounds with Brandon, he slept with Lysa, she became pregnant, but her father forced her to drink the moon tea, so that deepened her obsession with him. He used that later to orchestrate the death of Jon Arryn. He had a much bigger plan in play to destabilize the kingdom during Season 1. Jon Arryn was just part of that, but he convinced Lysa that they could be together if he were to die, so she poisoned him, he dies, orchestrating the events that we see at the beginning of Season 1, where Ned Stark is brought to King's Landing as the new Hand of the King. Littlefinger is still the Master of Coin, trying to deepen the realm's debt so that it will destabilize and he can orchestrate a grand plan that would culminate in him taking the Iron Throne, but there are a couple big steps along the way. He has to destabilize the kingdom, he has to throw them into war, so he sells out Ned Stark, so that's the first thing, or really the biggest thing that she should kill him for orchestrating events that led to the death of her father, and then outright throwing him under the bus, betraying him in the last moments. The next big slap in the face is when Littlefinger comes to Catelyn during Season 2 offering Ned Stark's remains as recompense and comes onto her. She rejects him outright. This is the beginning of him shifting his attention to Sansa Stark, because as she's growing up, she's looking more and more like Catelyn, and then he comes to the conclusion during Season 3 that as he's been named Lord of Harrenhal for brokering this deal with the Lannisters in the Tyrells, that he now has the power to move to the Vale to offer himself to Lysa Arryn, who has no husband right now. So he thinks long-term that Sansa will be a more powerful political marriage than Lysa, even though the Vale has those forces. It's still a very big place, very important, but it's just a stepping stone to Winterfell, which was his ultimate goal, which is why he sends her to marry Ramsay. In the way they explain it, TV show Littlefinger didn't truly know how bad he was, but he didn't seem all that sorry or all that quick to help Sansa when he heard about what was happening to her. So you don't really follow up on that till season 6 when she looks like she's getting ready to stab him in the face, but it's just a prelude to what she's going to be doing to him later. She fed Ramsay to his dogs. Imagine what she's going to do to Littlefinger eventually. But the whole point in putting Sansa in Winterfell was in regaining control of Winterfell via a political marriage. That was Littlefinger's in. Had things not gone well for him, or had the Battle of the Bastards gone the other way, he would have immediately turned tail and brokered an alliance with the Boltons so that they could eventually form another alliance with the Tyrells in what is happening now, sort of the destabilization of the throne, and orchestrate events so that they could call a great council and get everyone to trust him so that he could present Sansa as the next candidate for ruler of the realm with someone else or eventually with him. The problem is that she would need a suitor. There's a good book theory about Jon Snow or Aegon being a Targaryen suitor for her in the books, but because the TV show has changed things so much, I'm not expecting it to be even close to what's happening in the books. But every twist and turn along the way in Littlefinger's plan to take the Iron Throne with Catelyn and then eventually with Sansa has dealt their family so many wounds that Sansa has limitless reasons to kill him. So looking at her arc now, she went from being this silly young girl in season 1 to having the innocence literally beaten out of her until today when she's learning to play Littlefinger's game.
Did you kill Joffrey?
Did I kill Joffrey? I've been in the Vale for weeks.
I know it was you.
And who helped me with this conspiracy? Do you remember that lovely necklace Dantas gave you? I don't suppose you noticed that a stone was missing after the feast.
The poison. I don't understand. The Lannisters gave you wealth, power. Joffrey made you the Lord of Harrenhal.
A man with no motive is a man no one suspects. Always keep your foes confused. If they don't know who you are or what you want, they can't know what you plan to do next.
So really the only thing, as Sophie Turner has said, that Sansa wants is recognition in what's going on, her role in the Battle of the Bastards, the fact that she helped broker the alliance that allowed them to win the battle. She doesn't seem to be getting that. So even though she's a little upset with Jon Snow and does not feel that he is fit to rule the kingdom, she isn't out to get Jon Snow. In the corner, you can almost see the calculus that Littlefinger is doing in his head to try and turn the situation to his benefit, and that would be turning Sansa against Jon Snow. But ultimately they're family, and what has the show done with the big female protagonist the last couple of seasons? It's shown them rising above things, tearing down the patriarchy. So what would Sansa's next move then be? It would be to cast off her Littlefinger shackles, but there are a couple things that she can do to accomplish that. One, she could out him to the rest of the kingdom that he's responsible for orchestrating all these terrible events. Jon Snow would execute him on the spot. He was ready to execute Melisandre on the spot. If he were to learn about Littlefinger's responsibility in Ned Stark's death, that would be the end of it. There would be no more conversation. So let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to have to happen before Sansa openly moves against Littlefinger? Because right now, it seems like she's slowly using him as a chess piece, like he really wants her and she knows that, so she's going to try and use that to her advantage. But something really big still has to happen before she outright tries to kill him. And that would probably involve marrying the Sweet Robin, so that would secure that alliance. She wouldn't need Littlefinger anymore, and she would rule over the Vale, which is what Littlefinger is effectively doing now as steward for Sweet Robin. Technically, the other Lords of the Vale really hate him, but because Sweet Robin likes him, there's nothing that they can do about it because he has so much influence over him. But if Sansa were able to turn Sweet Robin, then they wouldn't need Littlefinger anymore. So there are just a couple power plays left in Season 7 for Sansa. Littlefinger is her final boss in getting vengeance and justice for her family in everything that's happened since the beginning of Season 1. So if there are any other Game of Thrones Season 7 or any other bonus videos you guys want me to do, just let me know in the comments. There's going to be so much stuff happening in the next couple of months. We're going to get a trailer really soon. I know everybody wants to see some actual footage from Season 7. They're almost done filming right now. So I'll say congratulations to last week's giveaway winner, Sword of the Morning. You win one of the enhanced editions of the books. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. There's a new round in this video. I'll announce the winner the next time I post a Game of Thrones video. So really cool stuff coming. There was some new Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok that just dropped. So that'll be my first video tomorrow. Then I'll do some new Flash and I'll just post updates on bonus videos as we go along. While you wait for that, you can click here to learn about the brand new Targaryen book George R. R. Martin is doing later this year. And you can click here to learn about the extra episodes and stuff that we're going to be getting during season 8 of the TV show. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you in the next video.